Hello. Hello, hello. How are people? Carla Ray. So is this live? Is this working? Or what is happening here? Okay, it seems to be. Sorry, just had to double check there. It seemed like it wasn't actually going live on YouTube. Hello, hello, hello. Helen Johnson. Nice to see you. And Carla Ray, nice to see you. No, it's not your bedtime. Do your best. I mean, we're going to have Kirsten here, and she screeches with laughter a lot, so that will probably help. I am live, yay! Kelly, yeah, it seemed like it wasn't. I have to go over and make sure that it's actually happening on YouTube when I'm in StreamYard because it's not interesting anyway, but yeah. Hi, Garth David, how are you? Nice to see you. Hi, Blessed Mama. I'm so glad people could make it. So, yeah. Today I wanted to share, so we're going to do some, I can't remember what the thumbnail was called exactly. Hang on. Megansplaining Mormonism with Moralizing, Monologuer, Melatonin, Megan. So it is Pride Month, as probably many or most of you know, and Megan and Kirsten thought that they would do a special ex-Mormon snark episode about the LDS Church's involvement with Prop 8, which was the attempt to make same-sex marriage illegal in California. That it happened in 2008. And so this is their attempt to bring the snark to the MFMC, which they say multiple times before explaining what it stands for, which is motherfucking Mormon Church, which is Megan's, snarky moniker for the church that she left. You're with your ex-mo boyfriend. Awesome. You're here to learn. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but they haven't got much to teach ya. But yeah, so just to say, I am an ex-mechanic with an English degree. I don't have any particular, religious education or mental health education, anything like that. I just have opinions. And, one time Lauren Matthias made me so mad that I started a YouTube channel to express some of those opinions. So now you're stuck with me. Yes, apparently she's the expert. So the first thing I'm going to share with you, Helen Johnson Fredrickson's says also there she is the expert. So yes, Megan says, the only thing I'm an expert on is my own trauma. And then she comes out and acts like she's the expert on everything and everyone and everybody's feelings and what everybody should do and how everybody should act and all the rest of it. And she's extremely frustrating and she's extremely off-putting. And following her, the huge drop in viewership that she had after Lori went to prison, her dumb cousin went to prison, she tried to regain some relevance by jumping on the Lauren Matthias hidden true crime, let's get an innocent person put in jail to cover up our sins bandwagon. She got a pretty good telling off from a good number of channels. And then she ran away with her tail between her legs, and found a way to blame all of us for her drop in viewership. And she was kind of lucky, right? Because the timing sort of was, came along with the end of Lori's relevance and everything. So she was able to make that leap and blame us for the fact that she's not relevant and that the only thing anybody ever cared about was that she claimed this close blood relationship with Lori Vallow. So after she came back and did all that, after she jumped on the bandwagon, lied about Christina, double promised that if truth came out, she would, come out and say she was wrong. Truth came out. She did not come out and say she was wrong. Instead, she doubled down. And then she came back with her little hissy fit, blaming us all for saying mean things about her. And I just have had enough with her. I was mostly just, the only thing I had responded to of hers was her nonsense with Lauren. But after this last business with the fuck you all, I'll do what I want, you silly pores who I would sue if you had the money. I feel like she needs told, and I'm very happy to tell her. So I don't know if you recall from her great comeback video where she humiliated herself by exposing all of her financials. She said everything is changing and she's going to have this new incarnation or whatever. And I'm not sure if I'm right. I could totally be wrong, but I feel like she might be doubling down right now. Her expertise as Lori's dumb cousin is over. We've called out her fake coaching nonsense, and so now she's trying to reinvent herself as an expert in Mormonism. So she's extremely boring. She's extremely self-important. You guys all know this. But yeah, I wanted to share this. They just did this episode a couple of days ago about Pride and Prop 8, but I wanted to share it in light of some of the things that Megan said when she first showed up on the scene. We know that her first interview was with Hidden True Crime. We watched that one. I don't know if it was last time, but it was recently. And her next interview was on the Mormon Stories podcast. So I know a couple of things about the interview. One is that she was trying very hard to get on there. She was reaching out to them, and she very much wanted to be she wanted to make a big splash, right? She was coming in with Hidden True Crime. Now she's got Mormon Stories podcast, right? She wanted to make a splash, and she wanted to be invited on all the news programs surrounding Lori's trials, and she wanted to be seen as relevant on the internet with her knowledge of Lori. It has since been revealed, and I think many people suspected it at the time. I mean, certainly the Cox family came out and said it, that a lot of what she had to say was lies. And I was thinking when I was listening to that, I was thinking it also when I was listening to this Mormon Stories episode, but then when she was doing the Pride episode, I was very curious of her ex-Mormon snark thing, because I don't know if you guys have seen this, but if you haven't, it might surprise you to know that in this first appearance on Mormon Stories podcast, Megan came out as a member of the LGBTQ community. And so we're just going to listen to that. And then we're going to go listen to her talk all about Pride Month without ever once mentioning that she's a member of the LGBTQ community. And the reason I wanted to play this first is because I remember listening to this video the first time and thinking, that's weird. I've never heard any other mention of Megan being, LGBTQ, that she was bisexual. I've never heard any mention of this. I've only heard about her two husbands and her current partner, Samuel. So what's this, right? And it occurred to me that Megan was trying to find relevance on the internet, and that maybe she thought that this was another way that she could get some attention, right? So, in fact, I've never heard her mention it again in any other context. She talks all about Pride in this whole episode. She never once mentions it, and I think that it was a play to get attention. And again, to me, that means that this is not advocacy. This is exploitation. And this is what Megan does. She exploits victims, minorities, anybody that she can hang off of. She exploits for clicks and relevance on the internet. So I just wanted to share this little bit first, and then we will listen to her and Kirsten murder Pride Month with their silliness.
at that point. I had just done everything my parents told me to do. And there were a lot of things that didn't fit for me. Maybe a huge part of the story that I left out is that I'm bisexual, and I started having bisexual feelings when I was in 7th grade, and that did not fit.
Yeah, in the late 80s, early 90s.
Right.
Yeah.
And I didn't even really know what bisexual was. All I knew was that there was this girl that I really thought was beautiful, and I would try.
I just also want to say that, so she's talking about when she was 12 and this beautiful girl, and she's also going to talk about sexuality at some point. So 12 years old, she's having these feelings, she's wondering about her sexuality, and then the next year, Lori suggests that she should shave her pubic hair, and she nearly dies from the drive-by murder attempt on her innocence. So again, just whenever Megan is telling any story of any kind, you have to keep in mind every other story she's ever told. You have to remember all the other things she says. Cotton Carolyn says, did I make it to my first live with you, Penny? I don't know. Did you? It seems like maybe you did, judging from the clues that I can see. I'm glad you could make it, and I'm delighted that you're excited to be here, because that is it's very rewarding for me that people are excited to hear what I have to say. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you people. Carrying on here with Megan and her.
Try to go up and talk to her, and I would just get butterflies in my stomach. And she was in my orchestra class, and we had a concert, and we were all in the orchestra room getting ready for the concert. And she had worn this beautiful black crepe dress with a sweetheart neckline. And I just remember seeing her and thinking, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. I want to go tell her how beautiful she is.
Okay, so I also just want to say hi, Michelle. Hi, Carolina. Hi, Linda. Hi, Flannel Stitcher. Hi, Sparky Pilot. To me, what she's describing is a same-sex crush, which, I mean, I'm not saying she's not bi. I'm not inside Megan's, I couldn't say. All I'm saying is that this is not a particularly unusual experience. Hi, Jem. I got your email. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I will. Nice to see you. Glad you could make it. Yeah, I'm saying, right? Like, I remember having admiration for girls in my school or my class, maybe somebody that was older than me and really pretty or really, popular or whatever, right? It's very normal stuff that she's describing, and she's not necessarily describing bisexuality. But Megan tends to describe everything in the world as though it's uniquely happening to her in a way that nobody else ever experienced it. So just to say, sorry, my landlady's coming in, driving in, and the door is going up and down the garage door, and then she's going to come in, and there's going to be banging and stuff. So sorry. Also, I hope the air conditioning isn't bothering people. And I noticed after my last video, when I gave the dog a chew, I was listening through it later, that you could hear it was really loud in the background. So if you're hearing noises, that's what that is.
And I walked over there to talk to her, and I just could not get the words out. And I was like, oh
my God, what is that? Is that coy? Is that her remembering some sweet? Like, I
just want to be around you, and maybe smell your hair. I'm just kidding. But
okay. Also, I just feel so bad for Mindy in all of this. I feel less bad for John DeLynn, who literally bit her hand off to get her on here, even though he didn't really know who she was, and he wasn't really prepared. I feel like Mindy got embroiled in this because of her expertise on the case, right? John brought her in for that reason. And she has since said that she feels terrible about having taken Megan at face value and engaging with her as though she was in good faith. So I just want to shout out to Mindy Caldwell, who has also come out and very clearly disavowed all of Lauren Matthias's behavior following the Mormon Stories podcast episode that Lauren did. So just shout out to Mindy. She deserves our respect and our I'm not sure, our pity, I guess, for having to go through this in person.
No.
necessarily like sexual feelings, but just
but just
definite
like
attractive,
I thought
wanting
she
to be
was
close
so
to somebody.
beautiful and just
Yes.
wanted to be close to her, you
Yeah.
know. And I remember thinking to myself, well, that's not, there's nothing sexual about this. This is not wrong. It's just that
Right.
I admire.
I remember thinking to myself, there's nothing sexual about this. And yet she also remembers thinking to herself, what is all of this talk? How do you even know about this? Isn't that for when after you're married? And does this mean that you've done this? Oh my goodness. When Lori mentioned shaving her pubic hair so that she could wear her bathing suit. So just to say, when Megan talks about remembering something, she could be remembering it from this morning when she made it up.
Her, you know, I want to be her friend. But then, you know, after a few more years of things like that, I did start having sexual feelings towards girls.
So this is the thing, right? Carolina Hurtado says Mindy is the goat. She stood up for what was right. Right? She came out afterwards. She said, I apologize for my involvement in that. And this is where I stand now. Right? That's all Megan had to do. She would be happily, I mean, she would still be failing on the interwebs because she doesn't have any relevance other than Lori as a cousin, but she wouldn't have everybody jumping on her saying what a piece of garbage she is, right?
I thought it's just wrong. I'm just not going to have those feelings. I'm just not going to have those thoughts. I just am not going to entertain anything like that. And I'm just going to pretend like I don't feel that way, you know? And if there were sleepovers or anything like that, if there was an opportunity to, you know, experiment or do anything, I just said, that's wrong. I'm just not going to do that. So I kind of pretended that I didn't.
Who did she say it to? I wonder, was like all the girls beating down her door to have lesbian experiences with her in the cloakroom or something? Like, what's she talking about? Who did she say it to? Herself. To herself. If just pretend that a girl ever decided to approach me, I would just say no.
Didn't have those feelings for a very, very long time.
And are you saying that maybe that influenced you not being as active in the church for a while?
Yeah, because once I got to college, I started trying to think about who I really was and did I fit into this mold that my parents wanted me.
She kissed a girl and she liked it. The taste of her cherry chapstick. Whoa.
To be in. And I felt like I didn't. I felt odd. You know, I felt like I didn't really belong. And so I was wrestling with that and, you know, feelings of depression. And
yeah, she was wrestling with that and feelings of depression. It was hard to look down her nose on everybody while she was wrestling with all of that, but she's fought it out. Oh, sorry, landlady noise. Hang on. The combination of doors at the bottom of my stairs makes it so that you can't get in or out without crashing around. I mean, this is it, right? Anders Gustafsson says, sounds like her bi experience is so minuscule. It's why you even bring it up? Well, for relevance, right? I think that's literally it, right? That's why we all eventually settled on why is she doing all this? Why is she doing it? And it's for relevance. It's literally for relevance. And I think that maybe, right, if you think back to the letter that I received from her immediate family member who said that when she was a kid, she told her classmates that she had leukemia, and then she claimed that she had bulimia, and that she was always jumping on these bandwagons. And also that person said that the family, you know, had talked about their family of origin and her parents being her dad being an undiagnosed narcissist, and her mother being having her issues with the truth, I think was how they put it. So it's certainly possible that Megan's, you know, that she comes by this honestly, and that she was seeking attention that she wasn't getting as a kid, right? And that trying to find relevance with her parents and in the community by saying that she was sick, and now she has parlayed it into a whole, you know, personality disorder, right? And that's what she's doing. And so now I think, yeah, she's trying now. You know, the Lori thing is over. She did not, the midlife revolution did not take. And so now it seems to me, I mean, I don't know, I'm not in her head, but it seems to me that she's attempting to find relevance on the internet. So or on the internet, on the Mormon stories thing, right? And now as she's trying to find relevance as the Mormon expert. So I don't think we really need to listen to much more of this, but I just wanted this to kind of frame everything that she says in here. And never once does she mention that she is a member of the LGBTQ community, and that she personally could have been affected by the Prop 8. And also, I'm curious about why, because usually any opportunity to be a victim, right? She usually leaps on any opportunity to be a victim. So I'm not sure if maybe, this new iteration of Megan, I don't know how long she's been with her partner, Samuel, but maybe it's not cool with him or something. I don't know. But what I do know is it's weird for her not to try to get attention for herself as a victim of Prop 8. But anyway, I also thought I liked that this is how their video starts, because I think that the spinning disc is representative of just how much you're going to get out of these two. They're empty vessels, the pair of them. There's a lot of shrieking laughter. There's a lot of shrieking laughter from Kirsten and phony laughter from Megan. And again, like with these people, they often do things like this, right? Like they latch themselves on to something, to an issue that is, meaningful, or is, gets traction in society, and then they can look like they're, she positions herself as this empathetic, highly compassionate, left-leaning individual who is just here to share the healing and stuff, right? And so, obviously being opposed to Prop 8 is the morally correct position to be in. And Megan knows that, right? That's the image that she's portraying. So she's not going to, some of what they say is obviously going to be correct in terms of, yeah, you're right, that's wrong, that the Mormon church did so much to oppose gay marriage. But it's all part of the grift. So I know you guys know that, but anyway, here we go. Get ready. So you will probably, you have less likelihood of falling asleep, because when she's with Megan, because Megan shrieks with laughter a lot. Not Megan, Kirsten rather, shrieks with laughter a lot. So yet, it being the operative word, they're lover of bad puns. Yeah, so here we go.
It's wrong to criticize leaders of the church, even if the criticism is true.
Even if the criticism is true.
See, that's the snark. That's the snark, right? They both think that's hilarious. So that's the level of intellect we're dealing with. And second of all, this is her analysis is that's Megan's analysis. So look forward to more of that.
That's what I was about to say, but I was like, Megan's gonna say it.
Hi, Kirsten.
Hi, Megan. How are you tonight?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I am still sick, as we know, but
I'm so sorry.
I am here. No, I'm glad that I'm here. I'm glad that we're here with our Snarkian family, because this is something that Megan and I have both wanted to talk about, specifically during this wonderful month of Pride.
The wonderful month of Pride, people. These two think that Pride is wonderful. Just so you know.
Yes. You can see my shirt. More
Take Jane Austen's name out of your mouth. My God.
Pride, less prejudice.
I love that so much. I can't wait to buy one for myself. And I am wearing my Believe in Yourself unicorn shirt, which is not available on our merch site, unfortunately.
Oh my God, she's so quirky Megan. You know, she's in her 50s and she's still wearing a unicorn t-shirt. I just love, she's so whimsical. I just love Megan so much. So relatable.
Fortunately, we got it at a gas station in Arizona.
But this one is, and I want it on a tote.
Okay, so in the spirit of Megan, I'm going to say, you think you have Megan fatigue, Fafuki? I mean, please. I have Megan fatigue.
Bag, so I made a tote bag.
Yes.
So
Yes,
but
for
you
more
can get it-
information about my shirt, you can watch our shorts.
go to
from-
Mesquite.
Yes, Mesquite. That's right.
I'm putting the link in the chat.
So,
But
I'm wondering, is anybody finding anything? Has anybody found anything funny about anything that they've said so far? Right, Michelle Salter? That's what I said. Take her name out of your mouth, you filthy pair. Honestly. Am I remembering right that she was also estranged with her kids at one time? That does sound familiar to me, Valerie Nelson, but I don't know for sure, and I don't like to speak out of turn. So one of the things that I think is going on here, Michelle Demana says, ooh, she's really ick looking. She is looking ick, but also one of the things that she's doing, it seems to me, is this forced hilarity, right? I know she watches my videos, and I pointed out the first video I watched of these two together, Megan was so nasty to Kirsten throughout that it was extremely hard to watch. And I was a lot more on Kirsten's side then than I am now. But I suspect that Megan has realized that which side her bread is buttered on, right? And that not only is Kirsten carrying the show, and she'd better start being nice to her if she wants to if she wants this show to work, but also it's performative for us, right? So that we can all see that she's not affected by us. She doesn't care. It doesn't matter to her that we're talking about her. She's insanely happy. She is happy. She is healthy. She is healed. She has moved on. And she is living a productive life. And fuck all you all who say otherwise. So there's a lot of that. Like, this whole episode is just this shrieking with laughter hilarity throughout. It's exhausting.
To the Mesquite gas station.
Correct. Well, we should probably start. We're going to be talking about Prop 8 tonight. Oh, we have to do our intro. Hello, everyone. We're Ex-Mormon Snark. However it goes.
Oh,
we got to pre-record it.
I'm Megan, and
I'm Kirsten.
Yes, and together we're Ex-Mormon Snark. Tonight we're talking about Prop 8. And this is one of those things that probably a lot of faithful members, if they were not an adult at this time, turned 2006, 7?
2008, I think is when it was done. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? So they're here to talk about Prop 8, and they don't even have the facts at their fingertips. Just to start with, I think it was 2000. Like, really? Like, you couldn't do, same with the one we watched the other day where she's on Trisha's thing and she's talking about AI. Like, could you have a plan? Could you give us some visual aids? Could you have an outline? Like, could you do anything to prepare for this rather than just talking off the top of your head?
Especially, specifically in California, the church was involved, the Corporation of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was involved in promoting a political position to support Proposition 8, which was against gay marriage in the state of California. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, because there are a lot of people who don't remember. It's been sort of buried.
So just to say, it took place in the state of California, and it was, the law was going to affect the state of California. But they weren't against gay marriage in the state of California, right? They were against gay marriage. And I like to pick Megan apart. So,
under the layers of, shall we say, other scandalous things that have come out. And so a lot of people don't realize how vehemently the LDS.
She always frames everything with how stupid people are and how much people don't know, right? Everything is framed with people either don't know or they have the wrong information in terms of like people are wrong about her. Right? It's a lot of people don't know. So I'm just here to straighten out the record.
This church was against gay marriage. And
Yes.
I remember, Kirsten, this is my biggest memory of that. The main apologetic was, well, if they legalize gay marriage, then they're going to force us to perform gay marriages.
Gay marries, yes.
They're going to force us to perform gay marries in the temple. And that was their big thing. It was like, our dearly held religious belief is that marriage should be between a man and a woman, and that we don't want to be forced to perform gay weddings, gay marriages in our temples.
Yes.
And I just remember thinking at the time, like, are they really going to force you to? Can they even enforce it? Like, just because they make gay marriage legal, there was nothing in the law that was saying every religious institution shall permit gay marriage in their buildings. There was nothing like that in the language. But
that's also what they are like. I mean, that's part of it, right? That's part of the whole trick of it is it's the slippery slope thing, right? And the fact that she's too deaf to figure that out is ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, look at, I can't remember what the case was called, but look at the eventual thing that happened with the baker who refused to bake a cake for a gay wedding, right? It ended up going to court. And I think that, so even though I'm not on the side of the Mormon church or whatever, but I think that actually they had a point. It is a slippery slope. I think it's a good slippery slope. I think you want to go down that slope. But obviously, making gay marriage legal is the first step towards making it, towards all the laws that would have to surround that. So again, Megan is twee with her analysis, and she thinks that she's clever because she had a thought back in 2008 and that it's relevant here.
They were so terrified that they were going to be forced to do something that they campaigned openly against it. They encouraged members to campaign, and they donated money. Oh, what a shock.
A lot of money. So I watched a bunch.
Okay, so just to say, there was an original Prop 22 that attempted this. I think it was 2004. In 2008, Prop 8 passed. Gay marriage was made illegal in California. There were appeals. The appeals won. It was overturned in 2010 because they said a majority can't make a law to limit a minority. And also something else I can't remember. Then the Mormon Church and various others tried to appeal all of that. It went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled that you can't. They lost their appeal. They were basically told they had no standing to appeal because you can't take away a right that has already been given. So in 2013, that was the finality of it in the Supreme Court. And then in 2015, Obergefell v. Hodges made it the supreme law of the land in the Supreme Court of the United States, not just the Supreme Court of California. They are not going to give you any of that information. They're literally going to talk about Prop 8 only, and they're not even going to talk about how it's situated in the larger conversation in the entire community about gay rights. They're not going to talk about how it relates, how it went on, right? And Obergefell was this landmark case where gay marriage was ensconced in the Constitution, right? She's not going to talk about the fact that that doesn't mean as much as we thought it might mean, because we've seen that settled law Roe v. Wade was overturned, and the efforts that are being undertaken right now to destroy the Civil Rights Act. So there could have been a great conversation here that was situated in the contemporary moment that discussed a larger issue in the society in general that is kind of a microcosm in the Mormon Church. But does she fuck? She does not. nor does she lay claim to the LGBT community like she did back in the Mormon Stories podcast. So just be prepared to get a very surface skim across here with lots of shrieking laughter throughout.
Of stuff specifically from the church themselves, news reports at that time. I saw clips of the worldwide broadcast that they played regarding Prop 8. And what their argument was, like Megan said, was not only are we going to have to perform weddings, they were worried that they would be sued if they didn't. Like, that was the biggest things they kept bringing up. There could be lawsuits. There could be infringement on the freedom of religion. They kept saying this. And I was like, oh, they thought they were going to get their butts sued the way bakeries get sued for not making gay wedding cakes.
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
That's what they were afraid of. Yeah.
Color me shocked that the LDS Church's main concern was litigation against them.
Sorry, I'm drinking a lot of water because I'm still, ill. But
I mean, ASB 412 says, don't get me started on SCOTUS. And yeah, right. But literally, right, like this whole thing could have been an opportunity to have a conversation that is relevant to the community at large, right, where that they could maybe educate their listeners a little bit about the history of all this, and as I say, place it in the bigger picture and draw up comparisons, and talk about SCOTUS, talk about well, what does the law mean if it's being written by people who are clearly biased and are accepting bribes, and also like there could have been so much that came out of this that was interesting, so much conversation. And instead, exactly, with people saying things like, don't get me started on SCOTUS, because you got a million things to say, right? This could have been a fascinating conversation, and instead it's these two bimbos acting like they've got something relevant to say.
That's the thing. The more I watched, the more frustrated I got. At this period of time, in 2008, I was in my 20s, and I was engaged. I'd gone through the temple, or it was around that time. So I remember feeling a lot of pressure, being asked to donate, or to give of my time, talent, and resources to
everything,
supporting this. And I remember specifically my home teachers coming and seeing me, and I was a single woman, engaged. My home teachers came by and told me that they were there to talk about it and to encourage me to donate financially. And
that's the thing, right? It's like Lover of Bad Puns says, why on earth did they think their opinion on this matters years later? Right? Like, that's the question, right? And that's exactly where you get with these people, is like, it's about them. Megan thinks that she's qualified to talk on this because she had some thoughts about it at the time, right? And she has some outrage against the Mormon Church. She didn't do any proper research. She's got nothing to offer her viewers. It's all just this self-important BS from the pair of them. And Kirsten is literally, she's bringing up the rear in the Empty Vessel Olympics, but she's gaining on Megan and Lauren.
I told them this. I remember this so well. It was like a flashback as I was watching all these things, sitting on my couch with my home teachers. And I said, I don't have the money to donate. And
it's not that there's anything wrong. Don't get me wrong, right? It's not that there's anything wrong with having your personal experience as one facet or one aspect of your presentation, right? Like, they could bring in their own personal reminiscences of that time and how they experienced it as Mormons to add, an extra layer to their analysis. But since they don't have any analysis, right, it's just this empty me shit that either their viewers are too daft to be able to think for themselves, or they're all just men of a certain age who think that they like to watch Kirsten shrieking with laughter.
And even if I did, I wouldn't. And they were like, I mean, and at that time, I was
My
doing-
pearls.
exactly. You know, I was doing hair full time. Everyone in my salon, you know, was gay or bi or something. You know, like it was just I feel like.
Megan, were you gay or bi or something at that time? Did you have any personal experience of gay bi-ness at that time? Anything at all? Nope. That's weird. Pretty sure you came out on Mormon Stories podcast.
I'd been in and I'd heard so many people's stories. I worked with 2 stylists that had previously been Mormon and had left due to being gay. And they straight up said they were told.
This is their analysis. They're now going to go on a little tangent, shrieking with laughter about due to being gay, I had to leave the Mormon church.
Due to being gay, I can no longer be a Mormon.
I would love it so much if maybe somebody already has, but I would love it so much if the exit letter literally was, due to being gay, I shall no longer be participating in church activity.
So she's just restating the exact joke that Kirsten just made. So that's always fun. It's, you know, like when you're on Twitter or Blue Sky or whatever your social media app is, that and you put something, you make a joke, and then somebody comes along and corrects your joke to make it better. I love that so much. That's what Megan's doing.
Activity.
Due to my homosexuality requirement.
That's literally what that sounds like to me. Yes, right? This is, thank you. Vapid. All day long, both sides of the street, the pair of them. It's embarrassing. And it's insulting to the LGBTQ community that they are using this to get laughs and clicks when they have not showed any actual compassion. They have not discussed what it might have been like to be an LGBTQ person in California at that time. What about couples that maybe were already married before Prop 8 came along? What did that mean for them? You know, the impact on people who can't get married and their taxes, and how different and unfair that is for heterosexual couples that get all these tax breaks. But, you know, homosexual couples in a relationship can't have those same tax breaks, etc. On and on ad infinitum. They could have talked about issues. There is so much, and instead we've got this. Due to my homosexual needs.
Will no longer be able to be a Mormon.
Due to the requirements of the gay agenda, I shall no longer.
Oh my God.
Okay. Bo Boo's Roo says using the issue as a prop for relevance, it's gross. I assume there was no pun intended there, but it was funnier than anything that they have said or done so far. That's where we are.
Just kidding, you guys. The gay agenda is not a thing. That was a joke.
My God.
The gay agenda is not a thing. Just in case you people are so stupid you didn't understand that. I mean, not everything comes back into fashion, George.
Anyways, so I remember that just really vividly, and I was like, no, I'm not going to. And I know.
I'm shook. I love it.
Good. That's why we love you for many other reasons, Aaron, but good for you.
Yes, good for you. That was your last straw.
Oh, God. Can you imagine having these two as your cheerleaders for making a meaningful choice to you in your life? And having these two going, good girl. Ugh.
So I just remember it being constantly talked about, you know, with California being right there. People in Las Vegas were heavily involved. And it felt like a constant discussion, and it started really drawing lines in the sand for members. And that,
it doesn't matter if I cut them off in the middle of their sentences and all the rest of it, because literally they're not saying anything that matters. Critical thinking is vital says, how many Megan Connors does it take to change a light bulb? like an infinite amount, because she can't change, and that's everybody else's fault. Yeah, I mean, if you recall, Megan has said she can't change anybody's mind, and she knows that she can't change anybody's mind. So we're not sure what she's out here talking about anything at all for, because she doesn't believe in the power of persuasion or rhetoric or anything. What is happening? Who is shouting at me over here? And okay, Wesley, maybe settle down a little bit, okay? First of all, I don't like the caps, the all caps. It's hard to read. And second of all, we're not here for you to lecture us about Jesus or Allah or any other religion of any kind. So I'm holding the floor here because this is my channel, and screaming in the chat is not an appropriate way to behave. So carry on, lad.
That was something I saw also on news reports, and what the people in the church were saying in some of these news reports. Because I'm talking, guys, there were pickets, like
Did she look up any of the news reports? Do they have any pictures of the pickets? Do they have any video of the protests? Did they have anything at all? They do not.
protests happening in front of the
Yes.
temples.
Yes.
People really banding together. And something that they kept saying is this is a moral issue, and whether or not you support it or vote the correct way, like literally one of them
Right.
said, if you vote the correct way, then you'll be in good standing. One person said on the news interview that they were being told in their ward that whether or not you donated to it showed if you were in good standing or not. So like if you paid fast offerings, you instead needed to pay it towards Prop 8.
Yeah, and which is super cringy and horrible.
So that was actually a piece of information. So I'm not sure if you were ready about that. Okay, listen, Wesley, you are getting on my nerves. So I'm just going to hide you from the channel. And then nobody will have to listen to you anymore. Sorry, I don't usually block people, but for heaven's sake, go away. Thank you. Sorry about that. I am not down for that. Yeet. Yes, we got to use the word. You're going to have to yeet, Wesley. Yes, yeeted. Thank you. I thought I'd give him a second to calm down, but clearly that wasn't happening.
Because fast offerings
Yeah.
are literally supposed to go towards the poor, directly to the poor and needy in your area. Fast offerings are like members donating to other members when they need help with food or rent or clothing or whatever, if they're between jobs. So asking members to then divert their donations directly to people in need from people in need to Prop 8 is just wild to me.
So again, yeah, I mean, that is a good point, right? Like I was saying before, they do make a couple of good points. I mean, you can't really talk about Prop 8 being wrong and not make a couple of good points. And yeah, obviously it was extremely wrong of the LDS Church to divert funds from their own members in order to attack people in another state. So well done for making a point, Megan. Good job.
Just
It's
wild.
safe.
And songs, there are still people today who insist that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints had nothing to do with Prop 8. And that's why we're doing this episode.
So who? Does anybody, you got an example? You got any example at all? Show me an example. Who? Name one person. Show me one article. Show me one news article, one scholarly paper, anything. Show me something. You got something?
Because they absolutely 100% did not only that, but they were they not, Kirsten, you can correct me if I'm wrong, the largest financial donor to Prop 8 in California.
They were. And why does she not know that for sure? And why does she not know that they gave $20 million versus the Catholic Church giving $3 million? Why doesn't she know that? because she didn't fucking prepare, because Megan thinks that her memories from 2008, nearly 20 years ago, are good enough. This is the kind of, like, if you want to go get coaching from this woman, this is what you're going to get. Right? The shit that she can remember from when she heard about it before.
They were, Megan, and we are going to get to that, because not only were they the largest donor, they denied it, and then were fined for denying it,
for lying about it. Yeah. So, like, let's just unpack this with our Mormon brain, Kirsten. Let's just say that an individual person, like not a corporation, not a church, let's say an individual person, let's say that Megan, okay, let's just say Megan, for example, okay?
Yeah.
Could we not? Is there any other way that we could do this without saying Megan? I'm just, excuse me, Professor, is there another way? Because I'm allergic to Megan. Just, could I be excused? I got a note from my doctor. I tend to pass out, instant coma. It's a medical condition.
Let's say that I donated money to an anti-LGBTQ organization, which I would never do, but let's just say I did. Okay. Okay. Yes. Let's just say that I did.
Oh my God. Can you guys even imagine? That is so hilarious. Can you even imagine Megan donating money to an anti-LGBT? I mean, it doesn't even bear thinking about. Oh my God. Sorry. It's just so, it's just so crazy. It's just so crazy. She would never do anything about that. I mean, who could ever even think that Megan would be anything but perfect? Don't be silly, you guys. Stop it.
Let's say that I donated, let's say $10,000 to an anti-LGBT.
She doesn't have $10,000, right? She's not making any money anymore.
LGBTQ organization. And then let's say that on my tax return that I claimed I only donated $1,000 to that organization.
Oh, wait. So what are you saying? What are you saying? So she's saying that she said 10,000, but she only claimed 1,000. So that's a difference of $9,000. Megan would never do anything like that. I mean, this is just a thought experiment. It's not a thought experiment. Megan thinks it is.
What sort of sanctions should I, as an individual taxpayer, receive for falsely reporting my donations?
Well, I was about to go down the road. I was like, well, if it's charitable donation.
Well, that's true. Okay, so
don't ask me those things. Don't ask me those things.
Let's just say the IRS does not require you to report all of your deductions, right? And so as an individual person, I probably wouldn't have received a penalty. But let's just say generally.
Great thought experiment, Megan. Okay, let's find out what her point was.
The church does.
An individual or a corporation misrepresents their donations to an organization, they receive sanctions. They receive penalties and fines. Plus,
okay, but they don't usually misrepresent in terms of saying that they gave less, right? That's not normally what they do. They normally say that they gave more. So if they gave more, then they pay less in taxes, right? So whatever genius things she thinks she's come up with here, I just don't understand it.
Interest always with the IRS.
Does she know this? Does she know this? Like, why would they be penalized for paying more taxes? It doesn't even make fucking sense, Megan. Did she look anything up? Did they look anything up? I think Kirsten looked up a thing. Megan clearly did not.
Specifically because nonprofits and specifically religious organizations, I hate the law because it is so not clear, which is why it is done, I'm sure, that says that they cannot donate to a political organization or individual a substantial amount of their wealth. How much is a substantial amount? Because when I tell you how much the church donated, compared,
again, this is a good point. Language like that is very unclear, and yes, a substantial amount should be the same for everybody, right? It should be like 1/3 of your income or something like that, right? Because they could donate $20 million, and that's not really, it's a substantial amount of money to by any, metric, except the one when you compare it to how much money they actually have. So again, another good point. Impossible not to make a couple of good points here, though, so they don't get a ton of credit for that. But yes, it's a good observation.
Comparatively to the church's assets, it is next to nothing.
Yes.
Megan, would you like to now know how much they donated?
Kirsten, I would love to know how much they actually donated as opposed to what they say they donated.
You know what?
See, right? Like, I mean, what are they trying to present here? Is this a joke? Are we on a game show? Is this a comedy? Like, what is happening here? Right? It's just so off-putting. There's no, like, if you were actually here to learn something about the Mormon Church's involvement with Prop 8, you would literally be poking pins in your eyes by this time.
I was going to say, I'm going to tell you first what they said they donated.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to read.
It's literally like they're giving away prizes on the morning show, right? That's like the energy that they're bringing here.
Directly from what the church said that they donated.
Did you see her glass there? That's Megan drinking her very expensive scotch in her very expensive glass with her very expensive dodecahedron shaped ice cube the size of a snowball. That's Megan, because she's class, but you look at her mouth. I think it's an affectation that she's drinking scotch. She's pretending to like it, because nobody who likes scotch makes that face when they're swallowing a sip of it.
Okay, this is from the Church of Jesus Christ.org.
Oh,
so they put this up. It says 1 day ago, but it wasn't yesterday because I listened to it yesterday. So it was the day before yesterday in the evening. So close to maybe 20 hours it's been up now, and they have 551 views and 9 comments.
.org.
The 2nd of February 2009. So this is after they'd already gotten in trouble for stuff. Okay. The report.
I'm not sure. So Lover of Bad Puns says, I just cannot believe this partnership will last because Megan looks dumber than ever next to her co-host. And I mean, I see what you're saying, but I also think Megan is not able to read a room, right? She's not able to read a room. So I think that she thinks that they're really fun and that it's only a matter of time until people catch on. I mean, when it doesn't work out, she will discard and blame Kirsten, but yeah.
Submitted in advance.
That's my opinion. That's all. Sorry.
Of the 31st of January deadline. Details in-kind donations totaling $189,903.58.
Wow. That's, Kirsten, we're in the 6 figures, so that seems.
So I feel like saying that they said they donated 190,000, but actually they donated 20 million would be more informative than all this snitty, like this is their version of snark, right? They think that they're being snarky, but they're actually being snitty. They're sniping, and they're not giving you information in a way that is easy to digest, right? Like we don't need to know $189,427.63, right? Like that's just not, like literally they just, everything about this is off-putting because it's like they haven't thought even for 2 seconds about how this is going to be received, right? How is this going to work for your viewer?
Seems like a lot, but when you consider, the amount of wealth.
Okay, yes, it doesn't seem like a lot because we all know that the Mormon Church is filthy rich. Why is this like? Why don't you actually tell us something important about this rather than pointing out things that are really obvious? Kirsten just explained that. And now you're going to explain it again. Like we can't figure that out. I mean, it's frustrating, it's insulting, it's being spoon-fed things that aren't even relevant about this, except in terms of how it makes them feel like they are so on the right side of things because of their outrage. Like, it is exhausting listening to these two. So, I'm not even sure why any of us are doing it, honestly, except that literally I just want to see Megan fail so bad that, like, her whole experience is like just one giant experience of road rash, because that's literally what she deserved after what she's done to the Cox family, to Christina, and to God knows who else.
The church has, even if you're, a super head in the
I
sand
thought
Mormon.
I was sharing. I'm sorry.
The other thing that they do constantly is talk over each other. So they don't have even the vestige of a script that will allow, hey, I'm going to say this part, then you can respond with this part. I'm going to talk about this part, then you can jump in with this part. They got nothing. They just fucking talk over each other.
Oh, it's okay.
I thought I was sharing, but I was not. Here we go.
Prop hate. I love that.
Okay.
She loves that.
You see it okay? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So,
they are not going to mention a single word about what the actual effect of this was on LGBTQ people in California for the 5 years that it was in place. They're not even going to mention that.
So here it says, reports submitted in advance.
Yeah, they have 1,000.69K subscribers. So
details in-kind donations totaling $189,903.58. The value of the church's in-kind non-monetary contribution is less than 0.5% of the total funds, approximately 40.
And again, like, just read it. You don't need to screech it at us as though you are, like, you're not responding to the person that wrote this. They're not in the room. So it would be much better if you just read it in a voice that allowed us to digest it, rather than screaming it in our faces like you're talking to the people who behaved outrageously. Like, I'm tired.
40 million raised for the Yes on 8 campaign. The church did not make any cash contribution. Yes.
Kirsten. When they say in-kind donations, they are speaking of things that are non-cash, for example, labor.
Right.
Again, she's the way that she has to teach everybody what in-kind donations mean, right? She could literally just say, so just to be sure everybody knows that in-kind donations means things that are worth money but that aren't actual money, like volunteering to canvass. And then we could move on, but no.
Cold calling, as Aaron brought up.
Cold calling, campaigning, canvassing, handing out literature.
Yes.
So they valued the time of the members at pennies on the dollar for their hours spent.
Right.
Yes.
Which, by the way, they ended up apparently.
Helen Johnson says, I know nothing of Mormons, but I could do that better. Literally, Helen, I believe that you could go over to Wikipedia right now and read the page on Prop 8 and come back and do a better presentation than what we've got going on here. I have no doubt in my mind that you could do that. It is shocking how bad it is.
Guesstimating that about.
It would not just be more fun, Helen. It would be more informative. I have no doubt. And it would also be more sensitive.
$37,000 short, which is where they got the fine, which was only about $6,000. But they still were fined, which I want to point out. Now,
right. Exactly.
Here's what it has been served.
Actually, they're both annoying. Jenny Quilted, it says. Yeah, they are extremely annoying. I mean, sometimes they're annoying in the same know-nothing way, and sometimes they're annoying in opposite, shrieking with laughter and being a school mom ways. So it's quite a cornucopia of annoyance.
I believe this is from CBS. I'm so sorry. I don't have it pulled up right now and I don't want to look for it. But no, this was an actual report. I did not pull this from my behind or anything. The actual dollar amount.
Why would you even say that, first of all? I mean, gross, but, you might say that, but we're not like, this is a serious subject. Stop acting like a fucking idiot while you're talking about the dignity of LGBTQ people. You utter bimbo.
That was donated by the church was $22 million. And the church says right here on their own website, the total amount that was donated by them and other religious organizations for the Yes on 8 was approximately $40 million. The church donated $22 million of that.
I'm sorry, 4 million? 40?
Right? Why does Megan not already know this? Why have they not already discussed this? Yes, $40 million altogether. The Mormon church is responsible for $22 million of it. Can we move on now? No, probably not.
40 million total. So 22 million from the Mormon church and the rest of it from other religious organizations. There was the Catholic Church was in there, the evangelicals. They had several religious organizations that were helping.
So this is a great question. Jojo 509. Anybody who was serving a mission in California at that time was recruited to this cause, especially and including ward missionaries and senior service missionaries. Everybody who was in California was donating time rather than teaching people about the gospel of Jesus Christ. They were out there canvassing and calling and trying to get people to vote yes for Prop 8.
One of the things that's interesting to me about Megan is that she thinks that she's an expert on the Mormon church, and also she condemns the Mormon church constantly. And yet when people don't act in accordance with the rules of the Mormon church, she judges them for not acting in accordance with the rules of the Mormon church. So, and then she comes over here and tells us all how we're so cognitively biased that we can't even see straight. So, interesting.
They kept saying over and over and over again that they were asking them to do this because it was a moral issue.
Again, so Aaron's Hook or Aaron Shook is the person that's commenting on their channel. Says $40 million could have fed a lot of hungry children. And I would just have to say, like, yeah, no shit, Aaron. And I'm not even pissed at Aaron. I'm just pissed at how fucking vapid all of this is. That's like, that we aren't beyond pointing out the bleeding fucking obvious here, right? Like, we should be beyond that. We should be doing a little deeper analysis on all of this and talking about the fact that Obergefell is currently on the fucking chopping block. But instead, no.
They said, we do not take a stance on who the presidential candidates are or politics. We do not get involved in Democrats and Republicans. But when it comes to a more...
Oh my goodness, what is she saying there? Is Megan implying that they somehow have influence on politics? How can this be? Is she suggesting that Mormon leaders are in back rooms having conversations with right-wing leaders or Republican leaders about how they can get more Mormons into the Senate? Is that what she's saying? Wow, Megan, very deep.
Moral issue. I really wanted to play these clips, but I don't want to get in trouble with the church. So, but these were clips from the worldwide broadcast that they...
TS2603 says, why doesn't Megan let this other person talk instead of re-explaining ad nauseum what was said? Because she's jealous as shit of Kirsten, who is dumb as a bag of paste, but is pretty as a fresh rosebud blooming in the springtime. That's my guess.
They showed to everyone saying
We're salty.
we will not be quiet when it becomes a moral issue. And the moral issue is that marriage is between a man and a woman, and that's what God says.
Shut up. So Vanessa says she would like to see what Megan looks like without all the makeup and the bleach. So I'm just going to show you right here, right now, just what Megan looks like. She looks like that. Let's move her along a bit. You can see if you can get a better look of her. There, that's what she looks like. She's got some filters there. So according to Mindy, when she came onto the podcast, onto the Mormon Stories podcast, there was some wrangling over just what level of filters. And they were kind of struggling because they weren't used to using really filters, and it was kind of a hassle. So I don't think that's her completely in the raw, but that's with fewer filters than what she uses right now. So just saying. Happy to have the ability to answer your question right on the spot like that.
And then anything else is morally wrong. Okay?
So Kirsten, I just have an outrageous question. This is a silly question.
Outrageous.
Silly question.
Yes.
Is it morally wrong to cover up child SA?
Right? This is what I'm talking about. This is the level of fucking analysis we're going to get here. Like, yes, obviously, Megan, yes, and we obviously know that the Mormon Church does that. Can we move on to something, to some solutions, to some actual individuals, to maybe some statistics, to where we are now with all of this, to the fact that all of this ended up in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled that the law of the entire land, like anything at all. Nope, she's got it. This is a display of how clever Megan is. So again, with Megan, it's always the case, right? The message is not whatever the thing that she's saying is. The message is, I am very smart. I am very wise. I am very deep. I have got my finger on the pulse. I am one of the key players. I am very important in this situation. Megan.
I would agree that yes. Well, I would say
so. Also, the message is I'm smart, I'm quirky, I'm off the cuff, I'm edgy. Me and my co-host are like riffing off each other. We got the snark, we got the goods, right? The message isn't we care. I mean, part of the message, what she wants, she wants to get the kudos for the virtue signaling that she cares about the LGBTQ community, who she has apparently abandoned being a member of for this broadcast.
Yes, it is. Sorry, I'm assuming that was
okay. I just wanted to clarify because it seems it's just
again, neither one of them can shut up while the other person is talking. Usually, it's Megan interrupting Kirsten, but still, like, only one of you should be talking at a time. And the fact that maybe once or twice in an hour-long thing, you kind of like, oops, sorry, fair enough. But they both are so eager to say to get the attention for what they're saying that they can't stop and let the other person finish. It's just disgusting.
It seems a little bit like, the church is silent on so many things.
That are
but they do choose to speak up when there is a moral issue.
Things that Megan is not silent on. Things that Megan is out here championing. The church is silent on. So the church, compared to Megan, is not looking very good right now.
And so I'm confused.
She's confused. She doesn't understand. This is performative bullshit nonsense. This is not snark. It's not interesting. It's not entertaining. It's Megan showing off. Megan. That's so Megan. Right? Like, look at this. Look at the pause, right? I mean, we were talking in my last video about my pause game being very good with Megan. I always catch her looking smug, but she looks smug every fucking minute. Like, look at her. This is the attitude that she's bringing to the church that she was a member of for most of her life, attempting to alleviate the LGBT community of their dignity. And the message here is, look how clever Megan is. It is shameful bullshit.
About
And this is literally the day before yesterday. So this isn't like, oh, this is something that she was doing before and maybe things are better now. This is the day before yesterday. Yeah, Lindsay Hendricks, we were looking at the very beginning of the video, I played the part of the Mormon Stories podcast where she comes out as bisexual. Throughout this entire thing, and I don't think we're going to get through all of it because I'm going to, it's like drilling in my temple listening to her. But I have listened to the entire thing, and never once does she mention that she is a member of the LGB bisexual TQ community. She never mentions that time in college. Never mentions it.
their silence, they're not their silence only, but their literal campaign to cover up child essay and their failure to protect children.
And also, I think that she's going to do this a bit more throughout this one. I think she's trying to make up for the fact that she has got nothing to fucking add to this conversation by doing this a lot. Yeah, she has a partner, Samuel. She was married to 2 men. When she was 12 years old, she admired an older girl in a pretty dress in her orchestra class. And she hinted at some feelings that she had in college.
And yet, they felt the need to be very public and vocal about this political issue. In one state, they're a global church, Kirsten. I don't know if you know this or not.
I've heard.
They're a worldwide church. And they yet decided to get involved in the local politics of one state in one country in which their members reside. So I'm just...
And what did that mean? What was the outcome for the people in that state? How did that affect those people? How were they affected? Did you talk to anybody? Did you interview anybody? Do you know anybody that was personally affected? Did you try to reach out to find somebody who was personally affected? Did you look up an interview on Google of someone who was personally affected? Did you search YouTube for information about people who were personally affected? Did you do a single fucking thing except imagine how great this episode was going to be when you showed everybody how smart you were? None of this is about LGBTQ people or the LGBT community. It's all about Megan and Kirsten.
Just a little confused. So sorry. This reminds me of the British people because they're so polite about being...
Like, again, what has this got to fucking do with anything? If you had something interesting to give us, then you could do a cute little aside about British people are always so polite when they're trying to tell you to shut up and fuck off. But since you have given us nothing, you haven't earned the cute little aside, you dumb bitch. It was 2 days ago, Molly Colleen. It was the day before yesterday that she'd been talking about this shit. Like this.
Rude. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. But it seems that you're prioritizing this other thing over something which, it's so silly of me, seems so much more consequential.
Yes.
Right? Like, it's just, like, she's not earned the right to be cute or coy or funny about this. She hasn't given it her serious attention. She hasn't offered anything to her audience that they can take home and chew over and think about. Are we bollocks? Yeah, exactly, Nick Knight. Exactly.
Correct, Megan. That is, in fact, what was going on during Prop 8.
I mean, Kirsten can barely contain her giggles at how hilarious they are. She can hardly even stop laughing.
So, I mean, at the end...
I mean, maybe she met some posh British people. I can't imagine that she would be down with anybody from the north. She would not be down with northerners or with anybody who didn't have a posh accent. That would be my guess.
End of the day, the church was supporting this in a huge, huge way. And in the worldwide broadcast, they said specifically that they were working hard for California because it was such a large state with such large influence that
With
if
so
they
many
could
electoral
overturn,
votes.
exactly, if they could overturn gay marriage in California, then basically they could do it everywhere. That's what.
Okay, but neither of these two people is bright enough to know that California has a fucking huge economy, right? They have one of the biggest economies literally in the world. Right? To them, this is all just a fucking joke. Like, they didn't even bother to look into why was the Mormon church so interested in getting involved in what's going on in California. They don't even have a fucking clue. They're just here to fucking make jokes. Yes, they're drinking.
What they were saying.
I'm sorry. I just
Lindsay, Megan is drinking scotch, and she pretends that she likes it, but you can tell when you watch her take a sip that she actually hates it.
stuff here because what's hilarious is
Right? So she's fake laughing, right? Because Kirsten is actually laughing because I suspect that Kirsten developed a really hearty giggle as some kind of a defense to life, right? A lot of people do that, right? Being funny, laughing. It's a way to deflect. And it's extremely charming, right? Kirsten is very pretty, and she's much more charming than Megan. So Megan is trying to do the contagious laughter thing, and it just comes off like next to Kirsten, right? Who's just like, I mean, I can't stand her. She's an idiot. But compared to Megan in the Laughter Olympics, Kirsten is delightful, and Megan is an ogre.
when
Aaron, I love
when Mitt Romney ran for president, he made this joke literally in a.
So why is she laughing about this, though, right? This is not fucking funny. Like, none of this is funny. How are they so tone deaf? Oh my God. It's because they don't actually feel anything.
Press conference, he said, "I want to be clear that I believe that marriage should be between a man and a woman and a woman and a woman and a woman."
Yes, I think that the whiskey is a prop. Yeah, it's one of their things, right? So one of the, I don't know if they're doing it anymore, but one of the episodes that I watched, what they were saying was their thing was that they were having a different drink every week, a different fancy alcoholic beverage every week. And it's kind of an in your face, yes, because they're Exmos and they can go, fuck you, in your face. I'll have a drink if I want to. Yeah, well, I mean, Andy says, God, I love how much you hate this person. Yeah, I mean, she has asked for it, right? I am genuinely a very forgiving person, usually. And in fact, when I first came across Megan, I just forgave her. I didn't forgive her, but you know what I mean? I was just like, it's just not for me. I mean, at least she's out there trying to expose the Mormon church. It's just not for me. But in fact, she's a hateful, vicious shrew and a liar and a backstabber. And she tried to get Christina put in jail. And I hate her guts. Yeah. I mean, I also don't hate her because she's so insignificant, but yeah. She deserves to be completely and utterly forgotten, in my opinion.
And although I chuckled a little, it was not funny, actually.
So why are you
By the way, Kirsten,
why are you shrieking with laughter now then? Right? Like, pull it together, you two. My God, they're not going to.
would this be a good time for us to plug our series on the 19th wife?
Yes. Megan, please discuss.
Oh,
Since you were the
I
one
thought you were gonna
truly
plug it.
behind.
Yeah, they've got a series coming up that we can look forward to. It's also hysterical.
Oh, I can. Okay, guys. So as we know, a few months ago, I bought the book, The 19th Wife, which discusses Brigham Young's wife, Anne Eliza Webb, who divorced Brigham Young. And we did have a bunch of TBMs come in our comments and try to tell me, more than one divorced him. Yes, but she was the first one, okay? And she wrote a book about it. And then, oh, she wasn't the 19th. She was, I don't care. The point is, she calls herself the 19th wife. She divorced Brigham Young, and she deserves to have a voice. So,
again, it's a bit weird. Like, it's a very aggressive way to introduce this subject. Like, she's talking to her viewers who have made comments about this woman that she believes were off the mark or incorrect or whatever. And that's the salient point she wants to deliver to her audience right now, is that you guys are all stupid and I know the truth. It's a weird approach. Let's see how it works for her.
Megan so wonderfully and graciously has recorded.
Megan has never done anything gracious in her life. So, just saying.
The chapters as an audiobook. It's not available, as far as I know, anywhere else. It doesn't have any copyright protection or anything. The IP is whatever you called it. There's no whatever.
It's in the public domain. Hi, Phil. Nice to see you.
It's in the public domain.
Thank you.
So therefore,
I'm sick.
Copyright. It's okay. The copyright is expired.
You're not sick, sweetie. You're dumb. It's not the same thing.
And so I thought that it would be helpful to some people to be able to consume it as an audiobook. And so
it's a weird dynamic to figure out. CH says, this dynamic is a bit like Lauren and Grace, an older woman looking to be relevant, a younger woman flattered that they are considered an equal with the wiser in the pair. There's definitely something to that. I also think that, like, between Lauren and Grayson, Lauren is the pretty one. So there's kind of a different dynamic in that way. But yeah, like it's not it's a transactional, basically, is I think that's the same part for sure. Yeah, and exactly. Megan likes it that she can come off as she's the elder statesman of the group, right? For sure. But I do think that Kirsten being so much prettier than her is a different dimension, right? Because Grayson, I mean, Lauren's not exactly, a knockout the way that Kirsten is, but Grayson is quite awkward looking in comparison, right, to Lauren. So I think that that has a significant impact on Megan's experience of Kirsten. I think she's extremely jealous of Kirsten's beauty and charisma.
my face is not on it. It's just in the corner. And you get to see Annalisa Webb and also all of the lovely illustrations that are in the book, because I show it on the screen as I read it. It is really fun.
Sorry, I keep interrupting them. So what she's talking about is they have this book written by the 19th wife of Brigham Young. It's in the public domain now. And in order to bring it to their community, hey, Olaf, Megan has recorded an audio book. And I think with Grayson, something's happened. Like something has happened. I can't remember. Somebody else who's following it. Maybe Hella. I can't remember.
The illustrations are really funny. So right now, so far, Kirsten, if I'm correct, we only have the introduction up.
Yep.
Which is,
but I was thinking,
it's Annalisa Webb's sort of letter to the other wives.
Yes.
And
just
to the
saying,
Mormons,
like, I'm standing here for you, fighting for you, because you don't.
Oh, it's kind of like Megan's love letter to other survivors of sexual trafficking. So cool. She's just like Brigham Young's 19th wife. Cool.
Don't have a voice, even if you don't realize how harmful it is. Like, she says that in there. Like, I know that you might find that this is what God wants, and I assure you it's not, kind of thing.
Yeah. Right. And I just want to acknowledge, Jesse, I think this is a great idea. I would love a snarky Fidelity Month shirt, because that's what the Mormons do instead of Pride Month.
Just to say, that's a perfect analogy for this. She would love a snarky Fidelity Month shirt. That's literally what they have to offer you, is some merch with some little catchphrases about the Mormon Church. That's literally the analysis that's available for these two. So, I mean, if they're going to put out this book in this audiobook form so that they can educate their readers, and if the way that she analyzed Chad Daybell's letters is anything to go by, it's going to be just a joke, basically.
Governor Cox of
Did you catch that? I know you did. Governor Cox.
Utah, a lot of
Yes.
Cox, has decided that June is Fidelity Month in Utah instead of Pride Month. So
Mhm.
make of that what you will.
So, yes. So, when should we post those?
Again, that's sort of actually interesting. So the Mormon Church is attempting to have their own their own Pride Month, and they're calling it Fidelity Month. But again, this is like a little factoid rather than being anything that is kind of relevant to the actual issue of LGBTQ people, particularly considering the fact that Roe v. Wade was overturned and that community at large is facing Obergefell being overturned. No word about that. Lots of talk about merch.
Saturdays, Sundays?
Yeah, let's do Saturdays. I think these are the warriors that were saved for Saturday.
Might as well,
Therefore.
right? It's perfect.
So Keith, I don't know if the book, I know the book is not in
It's on
print
Amazon.
anymore, but it's on, is it on Amazon? Okay. And you can also find it for free online. I found it for free online.
I got mine at an online used bookstore because I tried to support used book.
Okay, so didn't bother to prepare the link so that they could post the link for their readers so everybody could go and get their online copy. Didn't bother to do that.
Stores when I can.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be like, I support. It's
And
just
she
it was good. I got it
And
from
she-
a library, and it says, what does it say on it?
No, go
Pulled
ahead.
or something? Removed?
yes, it's been
Sorry.
removed
Yeah.
from the library because of its controversy.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
in Utah
yeah.
anyway. But
Yes.
I mean, books get removed from the library all the time and for lots of reasons. So I don't know. I mean, maybe that's true. Certainly that is something that the Mormon Church might do, but I don't think she has any proof of that. And I like to point out all the stupid things that Megan says.
So this is one of the reasons I decided to record it as kind of an audiobook, because I figured there were probably a lot of people who want to read it but don't have time.
So Anders is saying, I wonder if there are many gay people living in Salt Lake. I mean, my guess would be that, among the Mormon population, they have the similar numbers of LGBTQ people as any other community. Whether or not they're out, I don't know, and whether or not they choose to stay in a community where they can't be, out 100% comfortably. I'm not sure that there's, certainly for trans people, there are fewer and fewer safe spaces in the world. And also that's another thing, right? That's another subject that these two could have brought up with all of this, is trans people and the just the absolute insane hatred that they are currently facing, and the backlash against any rights that they have achieved over the last couple of decades. No mention of that. No mention of anything. Now, what they're talking about now is their audio book.
And so you can just put it on in the background while you're doing yard work or chores or whatever else you do on your free time.
Yes.
And then I do want to address this because I've had it starred for a long time. So Tim says before Prop 8, there was Prop 22. That was in the year 2000. I do vaguely remember this. And then Trevor,
See, I said this earlier that they brought up Prop 22, but they actually didn't. It was somebody in their audience that brought it up, not even them. So she's like, I vaguely remember that. Again, did you bother to fucking research this at all before you came on here to teach everybody all about it? Apparently not.
Graciously suggested that Kirsten and I were both 10 years old at that time. I was not. I was 26 at the time. So I was vaguely aware of it, but again,
It was about me and how you said I look really younger than I really am. That's what it was about me. Like, again, you haven't done enough to explicate this issue to have earned these stupid jokes, Megan.
I was 16.
yeah, it was another one of those things that didn't get a lot of press or attention outside of Utah. And so even those of us who were faithful members.
Shut up, Megan. Lover of bad puns. Megan literally is reading the book and recording it. She's doing an audiobook of it and posting it online for their listeners to go and listen to her reading the book. And then prop means proposition. Yes, Anders is asking if prop means proposition. Yes, it was a proposition to ban gay marriage. It passed, and then ultimately it failed in the Supreme Court. And then the Supreme Court of California, and then the Supreme Court of the U.S. passed over Obergefell, which made it the law of the land. Nick Mike, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The book is, I can't remember what it's called The 19th Wife, and it was written by the 19th wife of Brigham Young.
At the time, Prop 22 was not widely a thing that was publicized or that we knew about, but you're right. I mean,
it wasn't widely a thing, so good to know. Thanks, Megan.
Prop 22 came before Prop 8. It was there. They've been supporting these kind of initiatives all the time. But as
right, no history of the LGBTQ community's experience of the Mormon Church or the Mormon Church's stance through history, like nothing. They literally got nothing for you but some stupid comments about how they remember stuff back in 2008.
Is usually the case in the MFMC. They like to low-key support this stuff and then claim that they didn't support it, especially when it goes badly or if it gets rejected or if it's not popular.
Oh, shut up, Megan. Like, this is it, right? And now she's going to sound all self-important about this when she hasn't even explained what the fuck she's talking about, right? It's so lame. It's so lame. Hello, Grammy Cheryl. Glad you could join us. Megan and Kirsten, they recorded this video 2 days ago, in case you wanted to know how they currently feel about LGBTQ issues. In fact, you're not going to find out, because what you're going to find out is how they feel about how cute they are.
Or if people leave the church over it, they're like, oh, we never did that. That's so weird that you would say that.
Leads into a great...
Right? Like Megan denying that she ever told a whole pack of lies about Christina. She never did that.
Next point, Megan. So...
this normal Idaho mom says, LGBTQIA in my life can explain these cases in depth, even if they don't have a legal or political background. We were just commenting on how Helen could have gone and read the Wikipedia article about it and done a better job of this than they have.
The church was...
It is so pathetic. I would be embarrassed for them if I wasn't so filled with cringe at the existence of such people.
So vocal on this, and people started realizing, like Aaron said, that they were asking for donations, asking for volunteer, hours. People were picketing and protesting in front of the temple, in front of weddings. I remember I had a friend that went to a wedding in California, and there were people protesting in front of the temple. She was so upset, all of these things. So it became a really big deal. And there was a documentary that was shown at Sundance. I don't know if you remember this. I didn't see it, but I remember.
How many people were at the protest? Did anybody get injured? Was anybody arrested? Do you have any pictures of it? Do you have any video of it? Do you have anything other than an anecdote from a friend? Anything at all? Crusha Difficult Research says, to me, Megan's labels always felt like performative identity shielding to protect her brand and deflect criticism. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that there's a single thing that Megan does that isn't a a manipulation of some kind, right? Protect her brand, her image, exactly, deflect criticism. I mean, narcissism is a defense structure ultimately, and she displays all of those traits, right? I mean, have you ever met anybody more grandiose than this dumbass who thinks that her sitting here in her Believe in Yourself unicorn shirt and telling us all about the things she remembers from 2008? Like, my God.
For this called
Yeah.
8.
She thinks she has a role to play for the LGBT community here, and yet she has not even referenced a single LGBTQ person's experience, even in terms of just how a generic gay man might experience this. It's mind-blowing, really, right?
It's called like 8, the Mormon proposition or something like that.
Yep, something like that.
And they showed it at Sundance, and the church submitted a statement that said, this is full of propaganda and lies. And
Where's the statement? Why don't you bring up the statement and read it to us? Have you got the statement? Have you got a screenshot of the video? Have you got a link to any information about that? Have you got anything for us?
And
no one should
This is a rhetorical question.
see it. Yes, and no one should go see it. And I saw a little clip of the director talking about it. He's like, I think it's hilarious because I know they haven't seen it. So
right, you know they didn't.
Calissa Cat says, I keep interrupting them in the middle of what they're saying because it doesn't matter if you're listening or not. Nothing that they're saying matters at all. This is literally just an exhibition of how completely fucking pointless it is to listen to them. So Calissa Cat says, Megan deep down realizes, right? The things that you guys are saying are so much more interesting and relevant than what they're saying. Megan deep down realizes she brings nothing to the table, and her insecurities keep her finding new communities to join, so she has to change herself to fit each time. Yeah, and yet she's the same every time, right? Third verse, same as the first. She's still Megan. And all she's got is this red-faced, phony fucking relatability to offer you, right? Imagine being one of her followers that's maybe LGBTQ. How would you feel watching this? Would you feel like you were being represented, or that any part of you was being given a voice here? Did it occur to them to interview someone who was in the community, or to find an interview online? Right? Megan's not even admitting her own membership in the community that she was so proud to lay claim to in her Mormon story. Like, this is not advocacy, right? This is exploitation. These people should be ashamed of themselves. This is not, happy Pride, right? I would be so deeply ashamed of myself if I made a spectacle of myself like this at my friend's birthday party. Never mind if I did this in front of an entire community of people whose dignity was at stake and is at stake still.
Watch it. It's like all of those Mormons that comment on all of our
right. They've got, what's her thingy there? Well, Kirsten, she's got rainbow fingernails. Happy Pride, everybody. She's got rainbow fingernails. Right? ASB 412. Anybody with any sense is actually offended by this bullshit. It's beyond irrelevant. It's offensive. Right? It's not just irrelevant. It's exploitation. Right? A 6-year-old, a grade 6 student being assigned a presentation for class could do better than this. It's sickening.
Episodes, but they don't actually ever watch anything that we say. They just see the
Yes.
thumbnail and they see the title and they're like, this is anti-Mormon lies.
I mean, it might not be anti-Mormon lies, but it's exploitation and it's bullshit. And I have nothing else to say about that because whatever.
Speaking of which, Hellfire Agency, Ex-Mojo, I can't believe that you've never heard me refer to.
Shut the fuck up, Megan. This normal Idaho mom has something to say. She says, last I heard, Pride isn't about taking shots at any certain faith. It's about visibility and community. Happy Pride, by the way. Beautifully said, this normal Idaho mom. Thank you.
The MFMC, which stands for, now that we're 26 minutes in, I can say the motherfucking Mormon Church.
Right? Because she's super edgy. And this is how she stands up for the Pride community, is by saying MFMC and drinking her expensive scotch on YouTube for clicks and laughs.
Yes. I'm so surprised. Joe, where have you been?
I know,
My
right?
poor brother
I feel
in
like
Christ.
maybe, you know what, Kirsten, maybe I just don't say it enough and maybe I need to say it more often.
I agree. We obviously haven't. We've let our people down.
Right? Yeah, that's hilarious, girls. That's hilarious. That's what this is about. It's about how funny and cute you guys are. I mean, call it the motherfucking Mormon Church all you want, but maybe have an episode about that. This is an episode about the LGBTQ community.
That's right.
So-
and
So they're wearing cute shirts, right? They have cute rainbow shirts and they have rainbow nail polish. It's the whole thing, right? It's like, I'm happy when I go into the local pet food store and I find, excuse me, that there are Pride bow ties that I can put on my little dog. I'm glad of that because I feel like it's become mainstreamed, right? It's been mainstreamed. But the only reason it's been mainstreamed is because corporations saw that there was a benefit to their bottom line for doing that. And anybody who pretends otherwise is a fucking idiot. And these two out here with their Pride merch are part of that corporate bullshit. Particularly when they have zero to back it up. Right? I don't mind putting a Pride bow tie on my dog because if somebody asked me about it, I could tell them, from my heart why I support Pride. These two got nothing. They got some corporate merch. Nothing.
I feel like if Hellfire Agency doesn't know what it is, then definitely the Strengthening the Church Membership Committee doesn't know. So they need to know. We just need to say it more often. Just everybody, every once in a while, just put it in the chat just so that everybody sees it.
So everyone remembers. Yes. So back to...
Yeah, right? I mean, it's just a laugh fest, right? And for me, half of the reason why Megan is laughing so much is because she's showing us how great she's doing, how great everything is, how funny and healed and happy she is, and how far she's moved on. She's an advocate for everybody now. Right? Part of it is for us.
To this documentary, one thing I found out doing my research is that how one of the directors or the producer got involved, it might have been the director, I don't remember, got involved was because...
My favorite part of that whole episode, Lover of Bad Puns, says, but Penny, the important thing is, did you ask the cashier if they are okay? So that's from the last episode that we covered where Megan was on Web Sleuths, Friday night mental health night with Megan Connor. And she went through this whole thing about how it was incredibly important that we connect with the people in our community and how we should go look deep into the eyes of the cashier in Safeway and ask them, how are you? And then, following that, Trisha played an AI clip of, you know, the Titanic, of employees on the Titanic being interviewed. And the guy that was shoveling coal into the boiler, the AI guy, when the guy asked him something, went, "Fuck off, I'm working." And then she laughed and laughed and laughed because she thought that was so hilarious, because that's really what it would be like. And yet she did not manage to tie that in her little pea brain to the entire lecture she had just been giving us all about how we should be trying to develop intimate communications with the service people that we come across in our day-to-day life. You know, those people. So that was the best part of that whole thing, because it's moments like that that reveal, you know, under a 300-watt bulb, what a complete fucking phony she is, and how incapable she is of reading the room or understanding human nature or sharing any type of healing experience with you.
It had originally started as a documentary on unhoused youth from the church that had been asked to leave their homes due to their parents being told by the church that it was better to kick out their children than to allow that sort of sinning be in their home.
Well, it's because, Kirsten, did you know that Dallin Hoke?
So instead of pausing a moment to consider what that experience might have been like for the parents of those LGBTQ children, or for the children of those Mormon parents, the LGBT, she is going to move right on to show us how funny she is, because she's going to call Dallin H. Oaks Dallin Hoax, because, get it? Do you get it? Because she's saying that the LDS church is a hoax. Get it? Do you get it? The message here is, wow, Megan is so witty. Not, what would that feel like to be separated, to have the church that you have grown up with and obeyed all your life suddenly be the thing that separates you from your parents and from your family and that casts you out. What would that feel like, right? Nope. We are moving right along to Megan's hilarious pun.
Gave a very famous talk where he basically said, well, he didn't basically, he said.
I interrupted her saying that, but that's what she does. She calls him Dallin Hoax, and then she draws your attention to the pun.
He literally said
he literally said out loud from the pulpit that if he had a gay child, they would not be welcome in his home. They certainly, he said, don't expect to be invited to stay for dinner. Don't expect to be invited to stay the night. Certainly don't expect to have you and your partner stay in the same room under my roof.
I mean, that is outrageous and it's a terrible thing to do. But is she going to move on from delivering the outrage where she gets the bang? Right? The money shot? Is she going to move on from that to offer a voice to the person who's experiencing that? I really don't think so.
That's the example that Dallin Hoax set for the boomer generation of the MFMC. And you know what?
Yes.
They glommed onto
Hoax, MFMC. That's what she's got for you. She's got her little silly puns. Lover of bad puns. Yeah. Did you love that pun? Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, lover of bad puns. That's got to be hard for you. Yeah, right? She's got nothing for you here. If you're LGBTQ and you're in the audience of this or my video, I apologize for bringing this into your awareness.
To it as if they were Augustus Gloop in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And they all
Again, the message is, right? The message is about Megan. And you know who's getting that message loud and clear? See if you can figure out.
Turned into giant blueberries and got washed.
Those are two separate people.
Now they're laughing about Augustus Gloop getting turned into a giant blueberry on the heels of talking about the appalling statements of the current prophet of the Mormon Church. Right? No word about the dignity of the people that are being affected by this. Nothing. Just how funny they are.
Oh, these are different people.
We're almost at the halfway mark. I'm definitely not getting all the way through this. I don't think we really need to. Like, look at her, right? She's got her head thrown back there. This is hysterical. She's having the fucking time of her life out here, showing everybody how witty she is, and she has not yet even represented one time the voice of an actual LGBTQ person who has been affected by this. Not once.
Like, getting people mixed up, man. Okay? But I acknowledge and accept your metaphor. So.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You know what, Kirsten? I've not had my medicine today. And
Kirsten has already said very publicly that, Megan, I support you when you're right, and I even support you when you're wrong. So that's who we're dealing with.
As you know, it's been a difficult life. Yes. So, you know, sometimes I'm going to get things wrong.
Don't worry.
Everything about this is wrong, Megan. This is not sometimes you're getting things wrong. Everything about this is wrong. The pair of you are so tone deaf that I'm embarrassed for you. But the embarrassment I feel for you is nothing compared to what I feel for the people you are maligning with your fucking stupidity here. The people that you are exploiting for clicks and pretending to advocate for. There's nothing right about any of this.
I'm going to keep us on track. So
thank you.
That's how the documentary started. And as they were working on this and talking with both the parents and the youth, the parents saying, you know, they were told by church leaders to do this. They did it. And although they felt bad, they knew it was what God wanted. At the same time, they started hearing from these same families that they were being asked now to donate to Prop 8 and volunteer their time. So they were like, that's weird.
This is literally like me coming in here on Martin Luther King Day and doing a whole show about Black people and having Megan and Kirsten on as my guests. Hey, Junebug, are you here? Nice to see you. Glad you could make it. Megan and Kirsten are showing us their entire asses on the internet right now.
A little strange.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
Cardi. Love Cardi. So they started digging into that, and that's where it really took a turn and started going, because every church leader or they would talk to, they'd be like, we're not donating money. We're not asking people to donate. And then it was like, yes, you were. And one person that they interviewed was like, I was told that my membership in the church would be questioned if I didn't. So people were both doubling down and giving more money to the church for Prop 8. And yes, directly to the church, not just donating politically their own money to it. They're giving money to the church. They're giving money to whatever political things the church tells them to do. And they're saying, okay, now I also have to kick out my children. And then other people like Aaron are leaving the church being like, no, this is where I draw the line. I'm done.
Right. Yeah.
Prop 8 passes. So gay marriage is dissolved. The church is so happy. And what happens, Megan? There's backlash.
They held a Jubilee celebration where the youth danced in front of the temple. I'm just kidding. They didn't do that.
They might as well have, though, because they did say there was a lot of celebration at Salt Lake. And then the bad people came out because they were mad, all of the homosexuals. And this is where I want you to play the YouTube clip of not mine, not my prophet,
Not my prophet.
the current prophet.
Like, is that funny? Do any of you people find that funny? Anybody find that funny? Like, there's literally nothing funny about this. How are they managing to make funny out of banal nonsense? It's not even. And why are they trying so hard, right? Why are they trying so hard to make everything funny?
Hashtag not my prophet. The current prophet of the MFFC, the Mother King Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This is what he said happened, and watch what he compares it to.
Literally, Krusha says it's not fucking funny at all. Literally, that could be the comment. We could just have put that comment at the beginning and left it there the whole way through, because it sums up the entirety of this BS.
My jaw was literally on the floor. So I was like, what did he just say?
Good to see you, McSpunky, by the way. I'm going to add this to the stage. Oh, I'm at... Ooh,
that's mine.
I have to remove that first and then add... There we go.
Okay.
Let me expand the actual video.
Oh my god. They have an actual visual aid. What the fuck is happening?
By the way, I love Utah. That's all I'm going to say. The end.
Dallin H. Oaks, an apostle of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, today spoke of religious discrimination members of his faith experienced following California's Proposition 8.
No.
He compared it to voter discrimination African Americans suffered in the 1960s.
Yep.
Respect for religion in American life is deteriorating, was what Elder Dallin Oaks told BYU Idaho students. He said people of faith must insist on their constitutional rights to practice their religion and vote their consciences.
While our church rarely speaks on public issues, it does so by exception on what the First Presidency defines as significant.
Did you catch that? That's their serious commentary. Doing this while this guy talks. That's what they've got for you.
Moral issues.
Right.
One of those.
Look at Megan. This is it, right? This is who these people are. Just empty vessels trying to get some attention.
Was California's Proposition 8 to end same-sex marriage. Latter-day Saints in that state joined a coalition of faiths to help it pass.
When churches and their members or any other group speak out on public issues, win or lose, they have a right to expect freedom from retaliation.
3 days
No, they literally don't.
Actually, they literally do, you fucking moron. They don't have a right to expect freedom from people saying that they disagree with them. They do have the right to expect freedom from being retaliated against and, let's say, people attacking them. Retaliation is not the same thing as responding, and Megan's an idiot. She's going to come in here all hot and hard, like she's the big fucking defender of the faith, meaning, you know, the left, I guess. And she's just embarrassing.
They do not.
They do not.
They do not.
There is going to be
didn't.
retaliation.
They absolutely do. Thank you. Define retaliation. Like what? So we can go firebomb the temple and they're, right? Like, fuck off. The fact that he is defining, so they're kind of playing into his hands in a way, because he is defining protests outside the temple as retaliation, and she's going on with that instead of using her one, like, you think they could combine brain cells and come up with something?
Go.
The end.
After last November's election, thousands gathered for a rally and march in downtown Salt Lake, protesting the vote on Prop 8. Earlier today, in an interview with Church Public Affairs, Elder Oaks said he was not talking about simple opposition.
What I mean by intimidation is when people exercise their religious beliefs and they are then fired from jobs. Churches are subject to vandalism. People.
Yeah, but you live in a country, there's a separation of church and state. And I mean, this is America. I mean, I'm in Canada, but it's, it's America. All people created equal. Ringing any bells for you? So, sorry, my argument isn't with him, it's with Megan.
Are coerced.
He likened that intimidation to what African...
I'm sorry. I know this is the worst part, and I'm going to rewind just a little bit. Yes. But I would like to call...
Megan is now going to act like she cares about Black people. So, I apologize.
All on the president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day... Sorry, the president of the Corporation of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Dallin H. Oaks, Dallin Hoax, if you will.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I would like you to name me one instance of one person who was fired from a job.
Shut up, Megan. You haven't offered us any fucking examples of anything. Shut the fuck up. Kresha is talking. Kresha says, look, I can't stand this man and learned the more nefarious things about him and prophets before him, but they are immature about it all. Exactly. I mean, exactly, right? I mean, nobody's on this guy's side. We're not on his side. But she's actually helping him by saying stuff like that he's not entitled to be free from retaliation. Right? So I'm defending him in the way of defending all the rights. I know you're not saying I'm not, but I'm just saying, right? Like, there are laws and there is a justice system, and vigilante justice is not allowed. And he is kind of implying that protests are vigilante justice. And instead of having any kind of intelligent pushback against him, she helps him along by kind of agreeing with him that he has characterized protesting as retaliation correctly. I know, Kresha, I'm not talking at you. I'm talking at her.
Because they supported Prop 8.
I literally was going to say that. You took the words out of my mouth. When you were done with your sentence, I was like, name one person. Also, piggybacking on that.
Weren't they just talking about the gay baker thing a while ago? The baker of the gay cakes? So that was one person.
Name how many people have faced retaliation for leaving the church.
It's interesting that they are able to see that he is failing to provide anything to back up his statements, and yet they have nothing to back up their statements. It's that lack of self-awareness, and it seems like Kirsten suffers from it just as badly as Megan.
Write that down. How many people have said they faced employment issues,
discrimination,
because they left the church, they worked for a Mormon firm or company, and then were retaliated against, either just like ostracized or straight up lost their jobs. So shut the actual up, because what you guys do is real, and what you're talking about is Willy Wonka La La Land.
It's fake news.
Okay. I feel like I have reached the end of my ability to tolerate this nonsense, because who was Kirsten before she was Megan's sidekick? So this is my understanding of the situation between these two. Megan came out on the interwebs as the truth teller of the Cox family and started telling all kinds of lies about the Coxes. Kirsten, they don't know each other at this point. Kirsten apparently lived in the same ward as Barry and Janice at one time. And she reached out to Kirsten to say, you know, to reveal, the way Megan put it was that she revealed to her, Kirsten revealed to Megan that she had been in the same ward with Barry and Janice. And so they started out, the relationship seems to me, it started out a lot like Megan and Lauren, right? Where Megan came on Lauren's show to tell stories, to give, you know, truth bombs about the Coxes. And then that's how we first were introduced to Megan, was she came on to the Midlife Revolution and talked all about how she propped up all of Megan's lies about Barry and Janice. And then she told some more stories about them, and she was sort of produced as another truth teller about the Cox family, right? Revealing part of the narrative arc that meant that Megan could show us all how the killings came to be because of her inside knowledge. So that's how it started. Their acquaintanceship started that way. She reached out to Megan. And then when they started, I'm not sure exactly when they started this Mormon snark channel, but that is how they met. That is how their relationship was developed. But yeah, I don't think I can listen to any more of this. I've been going for a couple hours now, and I am running out of steam. And we're not going to learn anything more. I mean, they've revealed exactly what they think about the LGBTQ community by not even offering us the voice of a single LGBTQ person, or, you know, situating Prop 8 in the larger cultural conversation. Even mentioning that they talk about Prop 8 pass, they never carry on to tell you that it was eventually overturned, to talk about Obergefell, to do anything at all. And it doesn't get any better. So I think we have all suffered enough. So yeah, I am going to love you and leave you until next time. I have a video planned for tomorrow, but I cannot promise that I'm not going to hit a wall before 4 o'clock tomorrow, and I might postpone it till Monday, but I have a video about Lauren Matthias planned. So I will look forward to seeing you there, and thank you all for coming. And thank you, Helen. I know you gave me a super chat and I never acknowledged it or mentioned it. It went out of my head, but I did see it, and I very much appreciate your support. Thank you so much. So I will look forward to seeing everybody next time. I will love you and leave you, and hit the like button on the way out if you don't mind. I would appreciate that. Bye, Krisha, bye. Big gay hugs to all of you, says Lindsay.